Hi, I'm Joe Wood from Thimble Creek, and I'm going to give you a demo today on how to make a Catatonic block. What's a Catatonic block, you ask? Right here. It's a star block where the points are, there's no regularity to them. They're long, they're short, they're wide, they're thin. You can do anything you like with this. It's fun to do. It's not, you don't have to worry about points. All you do is have fun. There's 5 steps in order to make one star point. And I'm going to tell you that first. The points are, you need to lay it, sew it, press it, flip it, and trim it. And we're going to go through all of those steps as we make the star points for one of the star point pieces. So we're going to make one that's just like this, using some different fabrics for our but we're going to do it. First thing you're going to do is want to cut your pieces. And to make one star block, you're going to need 8 4.5-inch squares of your background fabric, 1 4.5-inch square for your center, and 8 scraps of fabric that are approximately 5-inch square or larger. And you'll see why in just a little bit as we go on. This block will finish at 12 inches. It's really fun to make, and we're going to do it right now without benefit of a sewing machine, without benefit of a rotary cutter. Pretty fantastic, right? So our first step is to lay it. So we're going to take one of our 4.5-inch squares of our background and one square of fabric that represents a star point. So the first thing you're going to do is lay it on top. This is your star point fabric. This is your background. You want to make sure that the ends of it go over the 4.5-inch square. It has to overlap. And you want to make sure that this piece of fabric will cover this fabric when you flip the fabric over later. But this is the first part you do. Simple, one piece of fabric on top of another. That's the lay it part. The next thing you're going to want to do is to sew it. So at that point here, you've laid it. Now you're going to sew a 1/4-inch seam right along your star point fabric. The next piece is to press it. So all that means is you're going to press it open. So you're going to press the star fabric on top of the background fabric. The next thing you're going to want to do is flip it, and that's about the easiest step ever. That means turn it over. So simple. Now we're going to do the trim part. Again, now you're going to get your rotary cutter, and you're going to trim it on both sides to get rid of this piece of fabric. And you want to trim it to the 4.5-inch square. So you're going to have a 4.5-inch square. And the miracle at this point is you have a finished star point. So that's one star point of 2 that you're going to need to make this one piece of the star point pieces for your Catatonic block. We're going to do it all again, and you do it the exact same way. So this point, this is the point you just did. The first step is to lay it. So you're going to take your second fabric, because I'm only using 2 fabrics for the star points. You lay it on top. Again, remember these pieces have to be larger than the bottom piece. You're going to then sew it. The next step is to press it open. The next step is to trim it. And you're going to trim it again to the 4.5-inch square. And when you open it up, here's your star point unit. Now the last thing I want to tell you is that as you make these star points, once you have trimmed the part 1, you're going to have one additional trim to make. Otherwise you're going to have a double piece of fabric right here, because you haven't cut off yet the bottom part of this 4.5-inch square. So you're going to, at that point, before you add this, you can trim it and then go on and do the second point. that is the process, and you can watch the video again, go a little bit slower and see how we did it. But when you make all 4 of your star points, then you're ready to put it and make your block. So you will have, remember we cut 8 squares of your 4.5-inch background fabric. We've already used 4 of them for this 4 star point pieces. So the other 4 will be the corners, and then you already cut the 4.5-inch square for the center. Lay it out 9 patch style and sew them together into 3 rows. Sew your rows together, and then you have one 12-inch Catatonic block. And you can see how we did it on our sample here. This will be a new pattern for us, available at ThimbleCreekBoutique on Etsy. Give us a couple of weeks for that pattern to be out, but it will be soon available. For the quilt we did, we used a center square of this little scary skeleton man, and he's in all of them, and then we did 8 different fabrics for the points. So it's a really fun block to make, very, very forgiving. It's really fun to decide where you want to do a short squatty point and where you want to do a long skinny point, and you never have to worry about them overlapping. You don't have to match any points at all. You just, like we said, lay it, sew it, press it, flip it, trim it, and enjoy your block. It's really fun to make. That's the end of this demo. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll watch it again, and we will see you soon. Take good care. Thank you.